Well, good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck. It's a beautiful day today. It's Wednesday, April 26th, and it's about 2 in the afternoon. And I was looking for a nice place to shoot a video, and it's kind of hard to beat a golf course. And this is the front nine of one of the local golf courses. It's on a fairly busy road, so you'll have some traffic going by. We have 3 golf courses here. This one's the public course. I'll give you a little bit better view of it. But then we have 2 private courses that are located in gated subdivisions out on the east side. This one's pretty popular with the locals. I've never really been a golfer, but I've been drug out here a couple of times, and guys talked me into coming shooting 18 holes with them, and I'm never very good at it. Never really decided I liked it. But tell you a little history, some stuff. This hill that you're looking at across there, a little flat-topped hill. That's called Fort McDonald Hill. And when the first settlers came here back around 1880, there were still some Indian issues, and so the locals were trying to figure out what to do if they got attacked. And up on top of this little flat top mesa there was an Indian ruin, or what they called an Indian ruin. The stacked rocks, the whole thing. And so they went up there and they restacked them all into what we call a stockade ruin, which was just basically a big rectangular wall. It was a place where they could all go if they felt threatened and defend themselves as a community. And so they called that Fort McDonald, and that's where the name came from. It was actually located kind of on the left side of this hill. Right kind of in the center of your picture, there's a tree that's real green and leafing out. It was located right up there. It's all houses up there now, and they've torn down the fort. There was a little piece of it left, but I was up there checking before I filmed this to see if there was anything up there to film, and it's all been torn down now. But you might notice above that green tree in the center of the picture, you can see some rock outcroppings and stuff, and there's some pretty good petroglyph panels up there. But they're all on private land now, which is a good news, bad news thing. Number one, it protects them. That's good. But number 2, nobody gets to go and see them, which is bad. But that kind of stuff is all over the country up here. That isn't really what I was going to tell you about today, so let me bring you back around. First of all, let me pan to the left, show you the rest across the... As I said, this is the front 9 on the golf course, the back 9 just off there to the left, and the clubhouse is off out of sight there, just to the left of the picture. It's a beautiful day. These two trees you're looking at here, they're not dead. They're just in the process of leafing out. They haven't leafed out yet. And as I said, we got some traffic. But, let me swing back over here where I can talk to you. I like to use this, I like to sit here to do this because it's easy and it's out of the wind. There's just enough breeze today that there might be a little noise on the microphone. So this enables me, I've got the spacing figured out here. And so what I was going to talk about today is I rode motorcycles for quite a number of years. And what got me started, I had them when I was a kid. And what got me started up here was something to ride in the backcountry. And so I bought a little Honda CT 110, which was the Trail 110. And the cool thing about that is that you could put about $1 worth of gas in it and ride it all weekend. And it was light enough where if I got in some place where I had to lift it over a log or something, I could do that. And now they've come out now with they've recreated those, and they call them now the CT 125 or the Trail 125. And I really, 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 really want one of those. But I can't really justify buying a motorcycle now. I quit riding a few years ago for a couple of reasons, but number one was because I'm kind of concerned about my balance. Sometimes I worry about my balance. I've always had good balance, but I fell off my bike here a couple of years ago and broke my wrist, and so I don't ride my mountain bike anymore. But for a while there, I actually had 3 motorcycles. I had the little CT90 for running around the back hills. And then I bought a 920 Virago Yamaha, and I used that to ride around town. But I graduated from that, and I got my first Goldwing. And my first Goldwing was a 1983 GL 1100 Aspencade, and I bought that used in 1985. It was immaculate at the time. I rode that all over the place, and I'll tell you a couple motorcycle stories today. But in 1988, they came out with the GL 1500, the 6-cylinder, with the electric reverse, and all those things were absolutely gorgeous. And so I had to have one, and I was between marriages at the time, so I was single and had a little bit of money, so I went and bought myself a GL 1500, traded in the 1100, and I rode that thing all over the place, clear back east and all the way up and down the west coast. Did a lot of the big rides. I did the Pacific Coast Highway, California 1, did the 101 up through Oregon and Washington. Went clear back east, clear back to, rode across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel from the Delmarva Peninsula down into Newport News, Virginia. Rode the entire length of the Blue Ridge Parkway in Virginia and North Carolina. Natchez Trace Parkway, I did that, and that's in Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. A lot of the big rides, I did a lot of those. I even did an iron butt coming back from a trip from Cookeville, Tennessee, all the way to Amarillo, Texas, 1,017 miles in one day. And for those of you that don't know what the iron butt is, an iron butt day is something that touring motorcyclists all try to do, and it's 1,000 miles in a day. It was pretty easy actually on the Goldwing. That day I did that, it was kind of interesting. I was on my way back home from a trip back east, and I'd given myself 4 days to get home. And I'd gotten stuck in Knoxville, Tennessee in the rush hour, and it was hot, it was humid, it was kind of miserable. And so I got as far as Cookeville, and Cookeville's about halfway between Nashville and Knoxville. And I checked into a motel there, and they gave me a room under the stairway right next to the dumpsters. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, a damn garbage truck came to empty the dumpsters and woke me up. And so I decided, well, I don't want to get stuck in Nashville traffic during rush hour, so if I leave now, I'll get through Nashville before rush hour happens. And so I loaded up and got out of there, and basically, make a long story short, I saw Nashville, Memphis, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and Amarillo all on the same day. I checked into a motel in Amarillo after the sun had gone down, but before it got dark. I didn't speed. I rode pretty much the speed limit. But a couple things that attributed to that. One, it was a cloudy day, so I wasn't getting baked by the sun real bad. And the other thing was that was thunderstorm season, and there was a break in the storms that day, so I got through the dry line without getting rained on or without having to take shelter from. They were having tornadoes every day, but there was a break, and I got through that. That Goldwing rode pretty good. I rode about 72 mile an hour on cruise control, and I was actually fresh enough that I got up the next morning in Amarillo and I rode 640 miles home. So I gave myself 4 days to get home, got home in 2. So that gave me a chance to rest up a couple days before I had to go back to work again, get all my laundry done and all that kind of stuff. So I traveled quite a bit with the motorcycle. One of the places I never made it to Florida. I still want to go to Key West. I haven't done that yet. Still want to go to Alaska. Haven't done that yet. I think I mentioned other videos. I've been in 48 of the 50 states. The only 2 I haven't been in yet is I haven't made it to Alaska. I still want to do that. And the other state I haven't been to is Michigan. But travel quite a bit with the RV and with the motorcycle. And actually, some of the upper Midwest states, a little bit of noise there. Some of the upper Midwest states there, I actually drove fire truck from a factory in Wisconsin, across through Minnesota and Iowa and back home that way. A new fire truck from the factory and drove it to Phoenix. But anyway, at one time I had all three of those motorcycles in my garage. Plus I had my own pickup, my personal pickup, plus I had my fire department car, and they all fit in a 2-car garage. Nowadays, I like to laugh about it. I got so much tools and so much stuff I've accumulated over the years that I don't have any room for a single vehicle in my garage, and plus all my vehicles I have now are too big to fit in there. So if I had a motorcycle again, I guess I would be able to figure out a way to get a motorcycle in there. And I used to park my Jeep in there before I sold my Jeep, but right now I don't have enough room to put anything in there. So all my vehicles sit outside. But just a little kind of talking about miscellaneous subjects. I wanted to get a video out today because I've got a appointment down at the cancer doctor in the morning down in the big city, and they're going to do a bunch of screening to make sure I'm healthy enough for my surgery. And I guess after that I'll probably get a surgery date. And as y'all know from listening to my other videos, I'm a little apprehensive about that. I'm certainly not looking forward to it, but we'll get her done. So as I said, it's a beautiful day here. Let me bring you back up. Give you another little pan around to Fort McDonald Hill and back on down the golf course. Just a pretty day. So as I tell you always, take care of each other, love each other, take care of yourself. Thank the Lord for the life He's given you and for the pretty day. And we'll talk to you again real soon.